Hello, it's Arthelon here, and I'm just going to go over my first impressions with Leoric. He's only been out for 2 days, so maybe I won't be right on some things, but I think this is the way in which he's going to be played and all that. First, I'll just go over his spells real quick. What I think of him: his Q, you swing and a really long arc, you do damage and slow, and it deals double damage to minions. I think it's a pretty good ability because it just does a lot of things at once. It's decent damage, it's really good wave clear, and 40% slow in 2.5 seconds is pretty darn nice, if you ask me. His W is a really nice heal, and it actually does a lot of damage to an enemy target. It's a skill shot, and it does 25%. And with a particular build at the end, you do 10% max HP too. So it does a ton of damage, but it also heals for a lot too. But it's pretty hard to land, and it can be pretty hard to keep up. But I think it's a really good ability, especially if you're in the middle of enemies and whatnot. His E is actually really cool. I think it's one of the coolest abilities in the game. You just kneel down, you walk around, and you pop up wherever. And it's actually a really long range, and it's really fast, so you can catch up to people pretty quickly. Just look how cool it is. Look. As for his two heroics, the first one's in Tomb, and I'm pretty sure you guys have all seen that, so I'm not going to go over that, but it just creates basically 3 task walls or whatever in front of you, and if you stand at the end of it, you body block whoever's in there. And his other one's March of the Black King, which you just start swinging at people for lots of damage, and you start healing yourself for 7% per swing. I think it's cool just because he does this in Diablo, and it's just look how cool it looks. And I think most people are going to take March. I mean, I think it's the heroic to be taken, just because if you have to take Entomb because March is that bad, then I don't know, both his heroics kind of suck. As for the build, this is the build I've seen people mostly going. It pretty much focuses on tankiness and also a lot of healing in your undead form, so you get back to life as quickly as possible. Your first talent helps you do this just because you get regen globes that will increase your health regen and therefore decrease the amount of time you'll spend dead. The fourth talent I'm mostly seen to take in is the one that makes you take 25% less damage on E, which is really good just because if you're in the middle of a team fight, you have to get out, or you just want to simply tank, you just pop E and you can go wherever you want, and during this time, you take a lot less damage. And during that time, you're also unstoppable, so it's just you're just basically just a big meat shield, and you're not taking as much damage as you should be. 7 talents, basically his version of First Aid. It's a little bit worse, but you get to use it in undead form. So I would actually say saving it for undead form is actually pretty nice, just because that's 20% of your health, so that's 1/5 of the time you'd be spending in undead form wiped off. 13, you get the 10% extra bonus damage on W if you finish the channel. I'm not sure if this would be the best one, but Burning Rage and Drain Momentum don't seem very good, so if you don't take Spell Shield, I'd be saying you take this. As you can see, this does tons of damage if you just make it last until the end, because that's 35% of someone's health. That's pretty insane, especially for heroes. 16, once again, I'm not sure if this would be the best, but this goes along very well with the 7-in-1 talent that'll get you up to speed with your undead passive. So when you're undead, you're just running around, you can just, and if you hit 5 targets, that's 10% of your death timer off. So that's basically 6 seconds every time you get 5 targets. And then at 20, I don't see any of these being good except Hardened Shield. Hardened Shield is just amazing. So as for what I think of him competitively, I think he does have a spot, but I don't think he's going to be able to ever solo tank. He just doesn't have the tools or the means to do that. He doesn't have any hard CC. I think he'll just be a bruiser type. He's basically a specialist, but with the warrior tag, I would say, because yeah, he can be tanky, but as far as hard CC goes and all that snaz, he doesn't have that many very many tools of being a warrior. But you know, we'll see. He could be really OP. we haven't really played him in scrims yet, so you never know. So yeah, that's what I think of Leoric. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the Nexus.